Part of homesteading and prepping and having a survival mentality and sustainability is that you're trying to prepare for what's to come. Sadly, in our world, we see wars, we see maybe signs of repression or depression. So it really kind of makes us think, what should we be preparing for? Well, today's video, we're going to talk about our own economy and the way that we should be worried about all the stuff that's going on in the world, yes, but it takes our view off what's going on here in America. So what are some signs that we need to be looking for when it comes to recession, deeper recession or depression? But more than that, what should we be doing, and what are 7 ways that we can hedge ourselves away from really feeling the onsets of a major depression? So let's jump into a great video today, guys, and it's going to be a good one. It starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Remember, we're going to be giving away thousands of dollars worth of gifts in the next few days once we hit 200,000 subscribers. So please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. That gets you entered in the giveaway. Just a few things. We're going to be giving away Hollow Point Coffee, $1,000 gift certificate to Harvest Right. We're going to be giving away a lot of our own merchandise and clothes, some soap, some handmade soap, some survival food from Legacy Food. So we've got tons of stuff to give away. We're actually giving a Jace case away, so you're going to have some antibiotics to put up for emergency situations. There's a solar generator that we're going to be giving away. Literally, there is over about $5,000 that we're going to be giving to our subscribers. So please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. That gets you entered, and let us know that you are a new subscriber below. And I'm looking forward to giving those things away. So now let's jump into the video. 7 ways that we can survive or go through any major crisis when it comes to economics, or a deeper recession, or even a major depression. Don't feel like those things are too far away. Look at our economy. We are actually spending way more than we are actually being able to produce. Our debt is skyrocketing. We're entering a war that we shouldn't be in. Those are things that should scare you a little bit when it comes to your money. Now, other signs we need to look for a deepening recession or depression. More spending on utilities and groceries. Boy, do we see that. A decrease in spending in things like real estate and discretionary income. We've seen declines of us actually manufacturing things, and we're having to import a lot, which will make us more susceptible to outside influences and what's going on in America, but also in the world. So we will be affected more. So all those things that we just said, we deal with on a daily basis. You're seeing inflation skyrocket, you're seeing interest go up, you're seeing things not getting able to be bought, and your paycheck is not going nearly as far as it should. So let's jump into a list of 7 things that could help you get through any kind of financial issue that you're going through. I promise you, if you practice some of these things and some of the other videos that we've talked about stockpiling and financially preparing, it can help you get through some tough times. So let's jump into number 1. Number 1 is you have to find multiple streams of income. Now, this is a big one. Side hustles are the name of the game. And it's sad that us as Americans can't just go to one job and it take care of all our needs. We're seeing that more and more because the cost of all these things are going up. For instance, I'm literally speaking to you on YouTube. YouTube is a side stream of what I do. However, we own a farm. We're actually growing animals. We sold 2 pigs yesterday. We're going to be processing some animals in a workshop. People come by. We sell soap. We sell vegetables. That's part of what we do too. That's a side hustle. And then also I work a full-time job away from farm. So all in all, we have several forms of income coming in. Misty also, she was a registered nurse by trade. However, she does not practice nursing because we homeschool, but she makes soap. She produces so much goods and so much things that we sell when it comes to our farm. Also, because some of the things she's doing, she's saving money. So it allows us not to have to spend so much money out in the world like most people do. So number 1 would be, you have to find side hustles or multiple streams of income. Now, I know this is harder for older individuals, but still try to go out and do what you can. If you're on Social Security, maybe pick up a little part-time job if you're able to. But when it comes to younger individuals, there's no reason you should just have one simple 8 to 5 and then feel like you're struggling. It's time to pick up some side hustles. All the innovations that we've seen in our world, one good thing about technology is it allows you to make money in so many different ways. Look at ways you can make it online. Look at ways that you can do a side hustle. Look at after hours, what you could do. Don't take away from your family, but understand multiple streams of income is so important. For instance, if all of a sudden one of those income streams goes down, you still have supplement money coming in. That is key. Number 2 is you have to start building a tradable skill. Now this kind of goes along with having a side hustle. Maybe you're good with your hands, maybe you're good artsy and you could build things. Maybe you're good at woodworking or carpentry. Maybe you're good at welding. That's things that you don't see a lot. Maybe you could help your neighbor with some piping and you can make some funds off that. It's also something you could barter. In the times of the Depression, if you look back and you read about it, the people who thrived during the Depression, the ones who knew skills, the ones who could get through with doing handyman things, the ones who could barter some of the things they actually had and the services they rendered. If I have a farm, I could barter and I could utilize my farm to bring in trade to learn new skills. If it's milking cows, if it's checking for sickness in animals, or if it's simply showing someone how to garden. However, say my tractor goes down and mechanically I can't fix it, it's something over my head. By someone down the road that may have a tradable skill and know how to be a mechanic and fix just the simplest of things, then that all of a sudden allows them to come do the work. And not only that, if I can't pay them, say we're in the Depression, I could give them milk, I could give them butter, I could give them crops. That bartering relationship is key. Having a tradable skill, it allows you to be more valuable and be an asset, not just because you can make money as a side hustle. Have that tradable skill to then trade yourself, to be able to utilize as yourself and the skills that you have made or developed into building a bartering system or a way that you can have another source of income. Number 3, you know how you have those drafts that come to your account, you're like, man, what is this $4 here? What is this $8 here? What did we subscribe to? I got to get that off, and we just let that subscription just keep on going. Or we've bought something long ago and we still got this draft on our account. Or we like to go out and eat and we shouldn't be eating out 5 times a week. We should only eat out once a week. This is number 3. You have to curb your expenses. This is a hard thing to do because we're so used to being in this America that has given us so much, and we have been so blessed as a populace that we just believe we could buy so much, live off some of the credit cards, pay the minimums, and life will keep on going. Well, we can't do that, and our government is doing that now, so therefore if we keep seeing our government do it, it puts us in more of a recession style depression. And us as a people, if we don't have the side hustles, if we don't have tradable skills, our source of incomes go down, which makes our expenses not being able to be paid. So the way you prepare is you have to get your expenses down. I tell people all the time when they're talking about money, it's not the money you make, it's how you spend the money you make. So when we talk about money, if you will learn to curb your expenses, save money in aspects of your life that you can. Don't say you can't save money, because everyone can cut a little bit out of their budget. So curb your expenses, understand it's not the money you make, it's the money you spend. And if we learn to curb the expenses, I promise you, it will help you when things get tough. It allows you to say, you know, I don't have all this frivolous spending anymore. We've already cut our budget. Number 3 is a huge one. Next is number 4. I've kind of preached against this, and I want you to understand, I'm not saying you have to take everything out of the bank, but I would keep a nice portion of your funds or your assets or your value out of banks. If worse comes to worse and something goes down, I mean, say for instance, blackouts happen. We've talked about that. For instance, it's a weekend and something bad happens. Say for instance, you know, debit and credit cards are not able to be used. It comes to a point where sometimes when we tangibly have our assets, such as our money and our value and our cash, it will always make a difference. We've always preached, keep some money in the bank to, of course, pay your bills, to cover your bills, even if that's 3 to 6 months. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that plan. However, I would say the exact same thing for keeping cash or keeping your assets at home. If you believe in cash, which I do still right now, because that's the only form of income that we can utilize and circulate that can be somewhat decentralized. So I would say keep some money at the house. I say keep 3 to 6 months at least. Again, diversifying your money. Please don't put all your money in. Don't take all your money out of the bank and put it all in your home, and all of a sudden a fire happens at your home or theft happens and all of a sudden you have no life savings. Be smart. I'm saying keep a portion in the bank, but we can't always just trust that the bank has our best interest at heart. I think back to the 08-09 crash when they started doing bailouts. It comes to a point where bailouts and bail-ins, both of those things really don't help you as a consumer or me as a consumer. They tend to help the bank or tend to help the bigger part of the lending pool, such as some of the commercial loans and things like that. If we don't keep some money at the house and we don't keep some form of assets with us at all times tangibly, I believe we will be affected more when something like a recession or depression happens. What if all of a sudden we had bank holidays, you know, the market crashes, or we go to war, and we see those things happening, and all of a sudden money gets tight, people start rushing the banks? What happens? They shut the bank, and then you can't get your funds. Well, if you have a majority of your funds at home, it will allow you to still go on with some kind of status quo, at least for a short time. So please keep your money at home as much as you can. Still keep a portion in the bank. Diversify. I'm not saying put it all in one place. Definitely don't do that at your home. Learn to put it into cash here and there, or put it in another hidden spot. You've got to find, you know, some ways to be able to kind of diversify your cash too. But we have to make sure that we don't keep all our money in the bank. No offense to anyone else, I will always trust myself with my money, with my family, with the way we are sustainable. That always comes down to me. I'm gonna make sure that I do more for my family than anyone else would. So when we keep money in the banks, when we rely on the government to do all these things, and we just trust everybody to take care of us, they may not always have our best interests at heart. So keeping your money home would be a very good point, especially as we get closer to times of struggle and economic crisis. Number 5, I've talked about this, is diversifying the money that you have. Having different assets. For instance, I have an old farm truck that people look at it and they're like, you know, it's just a farm truck. But that has value because we know it's an old engine that we can still fix. Very simplistic. It also has a dump bed on it. We can utilize it. It also is pure steel. It pretty much cannot be just hit and hurt like a plastic automobile today. It doesn't have a lot of moving parts, so we can utilize it. It's a very simple engine. So that's an asset to me because I can utilize it. Same way with precious metals or golds or silvers. Having those tangible assets allows you to know you have a bartering capability, but also something that has value if our currency goes down. Same way with real estate. If you have a piece of rural land, or you have a piece of land that's leased out, or you have animals grazing, all of those are ways that you are securing more than just currency and cash. You're having a way to kind of spread your money out and having a bigger asset pool. So we have to come to the point where we realize if we don't have things that have value, like precious metals or antiquities or assets or real estate or tangible goods, if we don't have those things and all our value is based in what we have in the bank or in our retirement funds or in cash, if all of a sudden we have a recession deeper or a depression, or we have a crisis of some sort, those things will lose value, and then here we go. We have no way of holding value to what we've worked so hard to get. Now, will these cars, or these older cars, these antiquities, these real estate endeavors, these livestock, all those things, they could fluctuate as well. I'm not saying they won't, but they tend to hold value because they've been around. Those things have been around for years and years and years. You're not making more land, so land will be there. Gold is a commodity, just like having food. All those things are hard assets that can be utilized for bartering, and also for a new currency or a way that you can get other things that you are needing. So number 5, having other assets other than just cash and making sure they're tangible where you can utilize them. Think of gold and silver. We have links down below of who we like to use. Think of food. We talk about growing food all the time. Think of antiquities, or think about rural land. All those things are good to have as an asset. Number 6 is protection and security. If we see things like that happening, a deep recession happens, threats of issues with crisis, chaos, what happens? People tend to go a little crazy. We talked about shortages of medicines and foods before. If we see the shortages of money and or food and medicine, that's going to make a group of individuals very, very irate and different, and that will cause issues. So if you live in the city or the county, or you live out in the middle of nowhere, it's all about making sure your home is safe. We have a video on how we defend our home and how we take care of our home, how we secure our home. You need to find ways that you can do the same thing. It may not be building this monster fortress or castle, understand that, but it may just be doing simple ways to emergency exit, to have defense mechanisms at home, like tools, like brass and lead. Those things are good too. We need to find ways that we can defend ourselves if we ever had to, and defend our home and beef up our security at our home. So if our food and our water and all our safety and all our goods are inside our home, Well, if somebody's able to easily get in our home, they can access all those things. So it comes down to, okay, we've got to secure our home the best way we know how. So beef up security, beef up defenses, beef up your home so you can make sure that you are taking care of all the things you worked hard to do and plan for these kind of situations. It's very important to have a few-step process of bugging in and securing what you have. Number 7, this kind of goes along with number 2 about building a tradable skill. This is a little bit different, as in another skill set. You need to find what people need the most and you provide it. So what I mean by that is this. If you see that your job is struggling because of the economy and because of the crisis, you go to who you work for or you go to your employer and you say, I'm willing to do whatever you need and I'm willing to learn it and put the hours in to understand it, even if it's on my time. You devote time to say, I can be versatile. I can take myself and make myself learn those skills. This is not about learning just the skill itself or being the tradesman. It's about being the grunt man who understands you got to be humble, and whatever it takes to save your family and keep your family safe and make money, you've got to do. If it's literally going to help slaughter an animal, if it's literally going to help work and toil the soil to help to let someone pay you in garden vegetables, whatever it may be, you've got to learn to say, I'm versatile. I'm willing to be the man who can do anything you need. I want to make sure that I put myself out there and know that I'm willing to take care of my family. If we cannot provide for our families in some kind of way, then it will all be for naught. If you've built all this beautiful home and own this land and all of a sudden you still owe on it, and then your job falls out and you don't have the side hustles and you don't know any kind of carpentry skills or trade skills that you can pass around, you've got to find ways to support your family. Then you have to say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I've got to be versatile. I've got to pick up other jobs at work. I've got to do whatever they're needing to be done to be done. That means we have to humble ourselves and have some humility, have some meekness, and understand that it's not all about us. It's about our family. It's about doing what is for the greater good. So number 7 is learning to be versatile and be humble and take on the new task, even when it's not quote unquote your job. You take on those jobs, you do what you can, because when they find value in you, just like we talked about in number 1 and 2, if they find value in you, you will be around and you will be an asset. So please understand being humble, being versatile, and taking on the new task, saying I'm motivated to work and do whatever you need. That is how we will make it through all the craziness that could go along with some kind of major economic crisis. So I hope these 7 things helped you out. We have to prepare for anything going on. We've talked about the scary things of nuclear and for wars and all the stuff going on. We're fighting proxies now. We're all of a sudden sending more troops to Asia. There's a lot going on. But then we talk about, on the other flip side, our economy is failing and we're still trying to do those things. We're not curbing spending. So when our government is frivolous, then we have to learn to conserve and do all that we can to take care of our family. The most important thing for us is to prepare, to build our homesteads, to understand how to put up food, and make sure we are doing a lot of these things here in this video to prepare for what may be coming. Because guess what, guys? No country goes without having turmoil. No group of people has ever been on this earth that didn't see some kind of major trials and tribulations. So please learn these things so you can be prepared for what may be coming in our world. And when these things are coming and you're prepared like you're supposed to, it doesn't make it easy, but it makes it where it's tolerable and you can get through it. Guys, thank you so much. Let me know what you think about this video. Remember to subscribe, because we're going to be giving away thousands of dollars worth of gifts. And hey, let us know that you are new to the channel. If you're old to the channel, let us know that you've enjoyed our content. If you don't like our content, let us know why you don't enjoy our content. All the while, I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.